Hey fellow developers, ready to add analytics to your app without spending your whole afternoon on it? I'm Cihat from TelemetryDeck, and today I'm going to walk you through the SDK integration using Swift as an example, but the process is very similar for Android and Flutter. I've timed this. It really does take about 4 minutes from creating your account to seeing your first data. Let me show you exactly how it works. First, head to telemetrydeck.com and create your account. I'm going to do this live so you can see the actual process. Click Get Started, enter your name and email, set a password, and give your organization a name. Next, you'll set a namespace. This is your reserved domain, like com.yourcompany. If you don't have a domain, use whatever you use as your app's bundle ID prefix. It's the same convention. Now you're done with this setup. Click Create New App or Website. Enter your app name. I'll call mine Demo App for this tutorial. Choose your platform. You can optionally add an App Store URL if your app is already shipped, but that's not needed. Now you'll see the SDK setup page. This shows your app ID, also called your API key. We'll copy that in a minute. But first, we're going to use the SDK documentation page to grab the SDK URL. Let's copy that. Now let's jump into Xcode. I've got a basic app here. It doesn't really matter if you use a Swift UI or UIKit. This works the same way. Go to File, Add Package Dependencies. Then on the top right, let's paste our SDK URL, and you'll see the TelemetryDeck Swift SDK appear. For the version, I recommend up to next major, starting from the latest version. That way you get the updates automatically without any breaking changes. Click Add Package. Xcode will now download it. This usually takes a few seconds. Then when done, you'll see that there are two targets actually, Telemetry Client and TelemetryDeck. Choose TelemetryDeck. Telemetry Client is the older version that's deprecated and will be removed in future releases. Then select your main app target, click Add Package again, and you're done with the package installation. See, that's the hardest part, and it took like 30 seconds. Now we need to initialize TelemetryDeck when your app starts. If you're using Swift UI, open your main app file, the one with the @main attribute. For UIKit, you do this in app delegates application did finish launching with options method. I'm using Swift UI, so I'll add the initialization in the app's init method. First, import TelemetryDeck at the top of the file. Then in the init method, we just need to call telemetrydeck.initialize with a config that contains our app ID. Now let's go back to our setup page, copy the API key, and paste it here in the code. And that's it. TelemetryDeck is now initialized and ready to go. Build and run your app. In fact, you could even ship your app. Here's what's really cool. TelemetryDeck is already tracking useful stuff without writing any more code than this. Every time your app launches, TelemetryDeck automatically sends a signal. It captures the iOS version, device model, app version, system language, all the basics you need. Let me switch back to TelemetryDeck dashboard and show you. I just launched my app once in the simulator, and because the SDK is batching network calls to optimize the network usage, it takes a few seconds, but the events should appear. But one thing to note is that you won't see any data from debugging sessions like the app starting in the simulator by default. To see that kind of data during testing or development, we need to turn on test mode. This way our simulator run shows up during testing, but we won't spoil our production data. And there it is. See, this signal just came in. It shows my app launched, running in iOS 26 simulator in English. All of that happened automatically. I didn't have to tell it to track any of this. You can already see built-in charts for app version, iOS version, device types, and more. This is perfect for answering questions like, should I drop iOS 15 support? Or how many users are on iPad versus iPhone? Now that we have the basics built in, let's send a custom event. This is where analytics gets really useful. Imagine you want to track when users complete your onboarding flow. Anywhere in your code, you can call the TelemetryDeck.signal function. I'm going to add this to a button in my app so we can see it in action. Here's my button that finishes onboarding. I'll add the signal here. Build and run. Tap the button, and let's check the dashboard in the Explore tab. Give it a few seconds, and there's my custom event. You can see onboarding.completed in the signals list. Now you might be wondering about naming conventions. We use dot notation with upper camel case prefixes and lower camel case for the last component, like onboarding in big, dot completed in small, or feature.used, or error.occurred. This matches Swift and Kotlin code style, where types are uppercase and functions are lowercase. It makes filtering and grouping relevant events much easier later. You can also add parameters for more context. Let's add some in our code. Now you can see not just that a feature was used, but get more details about that event in particular. Notice the parameter names use lower camel case without underscores. This keeps everything consistent. This is super powerful for understanding how different user segments interact with your app. Let me quickly show you two more really useful patterns. First, error tracking. When something goes wrong in your app, you can send that error as an event using our dedicated error occurred function. You'll see charts in your dashboard showing which errors are happening most often. Note that error tracking requires you to explicitly call error occurred. It's not automatic like app launches. And it's easy to get used to sending error events alongside maybe logging to console. You might even create a helper method that does both in one go. Second is purchase tracking. When a user makes in-app purchases, you can pass the StoreKit2's transaction object to our purchase completed function. This simple call will extract all the relevant information needed for our built-in revenue dashboard. Now you can track conversion rates, which products sell best, understand your revenue funnel. All of this works exactly the same on macOS, watchOS, or any other Apple platform. And of course, we support Android and Flutter as well. One more cool feature is duration tracking for measuring how long things take. Let's say you want to know how long your onboarding flow actually takes users. At the start, call start duration signal with your event name. When they finish, call stop and send duration signal with the same event name. TelemetryDeck automatically calculates the duration and sends it. It will even subtract any time the app was in the background between the calls. This is perfect for finding UX issues. For example, understanding when your onboarding takes too long, or it can also be super useful for understanding how long network calls actually take on average. Now that you've got the SDK integrated, here's what to explore next. Check out the built-in charts in your dashboard. There's already useful stuff there about your users. Think about what custom events would help you make better product decisions. Don't track everything, track what matters. I've got another video walking through those built-in charts and showing you how to actually use them to make decisions. The TelemetryDeck documentation has great guides on event naming conventions, privacy features, and advanced SDK usage. That's it. You just saw how I integrated analytics in just a couple of minutes, including all my explanations. If you follow along at your own pace, you'll have this done in 4 to 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Drop a comment if you run into any issues or if there's something specific you want to track and you're not sure how. I'm genuinely curious about what you're all building and what insights you're looking for. Thanks for watching and happy coding.